All right. It's cold. Let's see if the live is working. Let me check X first. All right. Yep. We're good. All right. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Get the link posted in Discord. All right. Let's see what is on the economic calendar for the week. Tomorrow we have S&P final U.S. manufacturing PMI at 9:45. Construction, spending, and ISM manufacturing at 10 a.m. Got some Fed speakers on Tuesday. Factory orders and ISM services, 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Thursday, initial jobless claims, wholesale inventories, and then Fed speaker. Friday, U.S. job reports, unemployment rate, hourly wages, year over year. Bowman speaks. Williams speaks. Oh, Powell speaking Friday during lunch at 12:30. Powell is speaking Friday. So it looks like the only thing really that's interesting is Thursday pre-market and then Friday pre-market. And then Friday kind of all morning after the pre-market data. I mean, Fed speakers at 10:15, 10:45, and then Powell at 12:30. So, nothing too crazy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So what's up? What's up? What's up, Liv? Grant, what's going on? NFP week. What's up, Terry? 2 Chains. Terry's in my Discord. Terry's a G. Terry 2 Chains. All right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. It is 35 degrees outside right now. It's 38. So I'm going to cover the same main three: SPY, QQQ, IWM. After that, I'm going to cover Walmart, Disney, PayPal, and then I have one other one recently that I was just reviewing and looks really good on the weekly and daily as well. So all of these charts are going to be based on the higher time frame, weeklies and dailies. So like Fridays, like the Friday live stream, right? So I just kind of live stream in the mornings and trade things here and there using profits Monday through Thursday. That's just how my risk management system works. And then towards the end of the day, the last hour or two, it's zooming out and looking on how is this daily candle closing, but more importantly, how is the week closing? Because how that stock closed on the weekly chart, that's going to help me get an idea and look on that time frame for what can potentially follow for that next week. So did that week close bullish or bearish? What does the overall chart pattern and structure look like? So that's kind of what I do on Fridays, and then over the weekend to get me set up, Monday through Thursday. So for SPY, it looks like futures have filled the gap downside overnight. So, but the only two things for SPY is you have the weekly trend line right here, and it lines up around the 480 area. So if that trend line gets broken and it loses at 580, 575 is probably going to come very, very fast. Let's see if I can find that low right here. So this area here. So you have a small area over here, but this low right over here is 575, almost to the penny. So underneath that 580, 578.5, and then down to 575. So again, that weekly trend line is going to line up around where that 580 is. And then SPY would have to break and base back over 600 for me to start to look to the upside. But going here onto the weekly, it is currently in a weekly squeeze that is moving to the downside. MACD has crossed bearish on the weekly here since December, and there is bearish divergence on the RSI. So all three of these are pointing to the downside. So I said it last week that I was looking for downside almost last week on mainly SPY, Qs, and Tesla. And then Tesla hit my full downside target, and then SPY just about got there as well. And then it got a nice pop, but honestly, it just looks like it can be just another lower high and then get the move to the downside. So you got that trend line right there on SPY where it closed at. I mean, just reject, come straight back down, and then lose this trend line, the previous lows in 580, and then just come all the way down to 575. So those are two main things, just 580 and 600. Personal opinion on mine just of the market is further downside. So looking for SPY to go hit that target of 575. QQQ, same story. You have the hourly chart right here, just the trend line, and then the lower high that can come in. So you'll see that the 513 area is a really big spot, the kind of reactions that it gets right here. So good SR flip spot. So bouncing back up here near the trend line, wick above it, hit it, whatever it is, but reject that and then end up coming back down. So could see in the mid 480s on Qs. You got an order block down here near 44 and then 480 underneath the previous lows of that 494 area. So for QQQ, for me to get bullish on QQQ, it would have to break in base above 413. And then once it does that, it really has to push above 520. Once it starts to get back above 520, then it's going to be looking solid. But until then, I mean, this high right up here in this trend line, just lower lows and lower highs, and then continue to hit these targets downside. Can't wait. Give me SPX puts. It's looking. Terry loves to short SPX all the time. It absolutely crushes it. So IWM, different story. I think I have it over here. IWM in the larger time frame looks like a giant cup and handle. So this is it on the weekly, and it probably looks a little bit more clear on the monthly. But here on the weekly, it just hit like near this bottom where I have a level around 212.41 down to 210 psych level, and it just put in that lower low. That would be the spot for it to kind of bounce, to pop back up to the 220 area and put in a higher low, and then see if it does end up just flagging out here for this cup and handle, eventually break to the upside. So the one thing I like about IWM is that it kind of is detached from SPY and QQQ sometimes. So IWM can absolutely be ripping while SPY and Qs are flat or going lower, and vice versa. SPY and Qs can be absolutely ripping, but then IWM is just staying flat or potentially red. So just because SPY and Qs are going lower does not mean IWM can not go higher. So I'm looking for about a 215 area here, break on IWM, and then take it higher to a 216, 216.25, and then 217 to 217.50. So it closed just above this trend line here, but just kind of directly on it. But you can see the kind of reactions that IWM gets right here. It's a good kind of SR flip spot. So if it can break in base like that, or kind of break base and then go up here. So the initial reaction, but then the retest of the trend line and then previous day high area can be a good back test hold and then go in. But if it does close above 215 and then gives a pullback and then shows support there and buyer step in, then take it back up to 217, 220. If it loses 212.4, then previous low around 211, and then under that is 210 psych level. 215.99. Nice. So I guess it's up after hours right now. Let's check Robinhood. IWM. It is at 215.39. So perfect. It is above. I have 215.19. So it is above that area right now. So it looks like it pushed. How high did it go above it? It went to 215.6. So it went right there. And it is pulling back about right there, which is perfect. So, I mean, if it ends up staying, flat or around this area, or it opens up above this tomorrow morning, if that holds, then could be a good sign there on IWM if it's already shown a little bit of relative strength outside of SPY and Qs. So after that, like I said, PayPal. So this is the daily chart on PayPal. So PayPal has a little green hammer all the way after this huge 3-bar down. This red candles all the way to the downside. The RSI on this bad boy is at 27.37. So it is currently underneath 30, which would put this as oversold. So it got a nice green hammer on the daily when the RSI is oversold. So looking for it to get the RSI back up to 50. So it would have to at least pop up a little bit higher. So looking for a move back up to 72.5 and then 74 area. 75.3 and then 77. You go out to the weekly, look at this area on Microsoft, just zoom out and look left. You'll see that this is an SR flip spot. So big bounces right here and then big rejections all throughout here. And then there's a break in base. What I talk about all the time, just talk about it on the other chart. This is the break, pops back up, kind of what I want to see IWM do right now. Comes back down, holds, and then look what happens. Big move back up, right? That's a break in base over an SR flip spot. Beautiful. So it didn't quite come down in here, but this zone overall, you'll see, just zoom out, look left, right? Just this zone right here overall. It just re-entered back in here on the weekly and got a daily hammer candle entering into that zone. So looking for a potential bounce here on PayPal. Similar setup to Microsoft. So this is an SR flip spot, and this is big previous support across the board right here. So every single time Microsoft has came down here and touched near this 388 area, I mean, hit down here and it went to all-time highs. It ran like $90. The week following after it pushed to 415. The week following after this one, it pushed to 421. So this week just closed at 397. So if it can break 400, then 404, and then 420, 415, and then 420. Go to the daily, very similar to PayPal, what I said. It's entering into that zone, getting a green hammer candle on the daily. So looking for it to initially pop back up here. Once it can break through the 404, 405 area, that little zone about right here, take that thing up higher to that zone right up here between 415, 420. So this was actually shout out to JT in the Discord. JT actually found this on Friday. About it was like 30 minutes before market close. I took Walmart calls for a swing, and then he sent the Microsoft chart in the premium chat channel. I was like, look at this. And I was like, oh man. So obviously with me, like I said on Fridays, the last 2 hours, it's look for swings that look good on the daily and weekly. So he posted that daily candle, and it was already starting to form the green hammer. And I looked on the weekly with where Microsoft was at, and I was like, I'm going to send it. And I was like, so I just went ahead and entered into a call position, got 30% on some Microsoft calls from March 21st, and sold half at 30. It went 25, 30% fairly quickly if you look at Microsoft in the last few minutes of the day. Literally took calls at like 340, 345 on this candle is where I took calls. And then got a nice pop up right here, and then it was instant, just gratification. So looking for that move here above 400 and then go hit those highs. And then after that, 415, 420 if it continues to push higher. Disney, the mouse. I hate this stock. Absolutely hate Walt Disney, the stock. I have Disney Plus and it's great, but their stock is shit. So you have a potential weekly cup and handle. So for the ones that don't know, that is a bullish structure. And look at the previous weekly candle. I mean, you can't ask for, anything more bullish than that, right? Just a huge freaking green bar. So had a really good week, and it is back up near this resistance where it kept getting rejected, right? It wicks above it twice, even like went all the way up here. They closed it straight back down underneath, and then took it lower. So if it can get another nice move back above 115, 115.55, especially just for the end of the week, if it only moves up a little bit. If Disney only moves up to the 115 and then maybe goes and hits a high of 117. If it closes above the trend line here for the cup and handle and then above that 113.75 area for the first time at the end of the week, then 2 weeks from right now, I'm still going to have Disney on the watch list to then just take it up higher to, these next levels. So going to be watching how Disney performs this week and then how it closes on Friday for potential swings, for going into the week following that. So looking to see if it can finally just get some green momentum up here. It's on the daily. You got the squeeze indicator here showing that it is in a high compression squeeze, and it has not flipped green yet, but is moving to the upside. MACD is a different story. MACD is bullish, and RSI is moving to the upside. It's above 50. It's at 59.33. So take it to 70 and beyond as it's moving higher. So it isn't a daily squeeze, moving to the upside, looking like it wants to break out of this resistance for the cup and handle. So potential bullish setup there on Disney. So watching some 115 and 120 calls or 118 for the end of March. So SPY, QQQ, IWM, PayPal, Microsoft, and Disney. Last but not least, one that certainly came across earlier is TSM. So this Taiwan Semiconductor, throw on a 50 moving average and go to the weekly. All right. You will see big reaction here to the upside and held, and just had a big move to the downside right here. So this is it on the weekly. Not only, but if you go over here, I'm going to take a gander back to August. This high that's right here, drag that across. All right. So that is an SR flip zone. It was resistance here. And then what happens? Break, base, new highs, right? This is the third chart that I've shown how it's very simple. Just break and base, right? It breaks through the resistance, and if you're already in the calls, fantastic. If you're not, you don't really have to chase and get FOMO. Just wait for the retest and hold. And then once it does, then usually, higher high, new highs come in. Right here. And obviously it would be again right there. So you have this here on TSM. Let me screenshot this. Same thing as some of the others, right? So I got a hammer candle the first time right here. Just didn't close green. And it is back down here again. So last time this area was tested on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All 5 days were green after that. And it went to 203 to about 205. So I'm going to see if TSM, when you go to the daily, RSI is just about at 30. Where's the weekly at? At 43. So I'm going to see if it can get a move back to the upside here. So very similar, chart with the Microsoft one. Very similar. Very similar to the PayPal. Right? Very similar. So all based on the daily and weekly. Look at the larger time frame, because when you look at the daily and weekly, when you trade on a 5, 10, or 15-minute chart intraday, that's how you can catch the big moves. So that is just about it for me. I've already posted the PayPal, Disney, and Microsoft chart prior. I think that's about it. I'll post the TSM chart here in a few. Let me actually log into Discord and go send that. But that's about it for me. Cutting it short, try to get through it as fast as I can. But yeah, I appreciate it. There's 1,200 people that were able to jump in this little fast session. So if you haven't already gone over to my profile on X, you can go ahead and go over there. You will already see the charts that I just did here and talked about on live. You'll see you can scroll through and find the Microsoft from Friday, probably, but I just posted some recent ones. Also shared the update on the Walmart chart for the swing that I'm in. But the PayPal and Disney are over there as well. And then please like and retweet the stream here on X. It is recorded. It's also recorded on YouTube. So for the ones that could not attend this education and charting session live right now, they will be able to watch the recording later on. So the more people that share it, the easier it is to find. So please like and retweet the stream. And then Liv is over on my YouTube channel. So if you have not gone over to my YouTube channel, click the link in my X bio. It'll pull up every single link that I have for like Discord and the social medias, everything. The YouTube channel's over there. You can click on it and you can go subscribe to that channel as well. You can also watch the lives on YouTube versus X, and I believe YouTube, the delay is not as bad as it is on X whenever I'm here on Restream. So, and sometimes better quality as well. So you can always find me on YouTube as well, and it might be better. Let me go ahead and put this. I want to put it in the watch list channel. So for TSM, I'm actually going to pull up the options chain on it because I'll just go ahead and get that kind of trade idea out there. And again, I'll send this chart here in just a few. So, I mean, realistically, looking for a move back to, I mean, first target's probably going to be around the 190 area, I imagine. Let me see. Right there. Where's that? 188. That's going to be big first target is right here. You can see that is an SR flip spot, right? Big bounces. This is not a coincidence. I say it all the time in my mastermind. Sign up for my mastermind if you want to learn some shit. So you get big reactions off this. Look, see all these big reactions. Push it to the upside. Comes over here. Remember I was doing break and base to the upside? Yeah, this is called a break and base to the downside, right? And then what happens? It holds underneath the zone. That's the SR flip. Previous support just got flipped to resistance, literally right there. When they tried to push it back above that zone, and it failed with that shooting star, and they closed it back down. It never reclaimed it. Came back up here, still never reclaimed the zone. And then what happens? Starts to move all the way to the downside. So since now we are at a support zone, I want to take it to the resistance zone, which would be my target. You see how when you mark areas of supply, demand, support, resistance, it helps you with your entries and exits for your targets. So now if I go to TSM, Taiwan Semi, options chain, most likely March 31st. Contracts are a little pricey. Let's go look at volume. 190s and 200s. 200s have a lot of volume. And open interest. Okay, so the highest volume is on 190s and 200s. If I did 2 weeks out, there are a few that have volume, still the same. It's around 190 and 200 still. The 190s for March 14th don't look too bad, but I'd probably buy a little bit of time. The 195s don't look too bad, but there's a lot of volume on those Marches for 200, which, I mean, there's resistance here at 196 and then probably right at 200 after that. Oh, you got right here. That's a zone. Yeah, and then 200. That base over there lines right up with it. So, I mean, for a swing, right, if you go to the 4 hour, you gotta think. So over the course of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions, I mean, it moved from 202 down to 180. So buying, $200 calls that are how many days out? 19 days out. I mean, you got almost 3 weeks, right? And they have the potential to go in the money within 1 week if in a perfect world. So one thing I'm noticing real quick, just to get an idea, that's an SR flip zone right here. If it pops up, that's a big trim at 196 to 198. Because if that rejects hard, where's it at? Where is it at? Oh, it's up here. You have a perfect left shoulder here. Come down here if it bounces and it goes to that target. Okay. When it rejects, pulls back down, it can potentially make an inverse head and shoulders. So a lot of lower wicks down here, like on the 4-hour and TSM, showing that buyers are present. So if it pushes back up to 188, I think that's a very good sign. Once it gets a break-in base of 188, push back up, $10, 196, 198. Where this trend line is, and right up in here, if it rejects hard, can pull back down here to 188, could be another long entry spot. If buyers, flip that zone, they still hold it, and then get, another re-entry on call swings there. Take it back up here. That would be the neckline for the inverse head and shoulders. Break that and then target 200. So for me, yeah, it would probably be the delta's at 0.16, which I usually like to get around 0.20. So the 195s, honestly, are not too bad. They're 230 a contract. The 200s are like $1.45. So the 195s and $200 calls for March 21st, that would be most likely what I'll be trading on TSM if it continues to move to the upside and this kind of chart plays out. So I'm actually going to get a screenshot of this just for the potential that can happen. If it just breaks through that trend line and breaks above that zone and doesn't pull back to make the inverse head and shoulders, that's fine too. I'll be in calls prior. The inverse head and shoulders will just be another reload entry when it rejects the neckline and pulls back down and makes that shoulder. I'll just give you round two. Let me send this in the Discord real quick and then jump off here. Watching 195/200 calls 43/21. All right, so there was a bonus one. SPY, QQ, IWM, Microsoft, PayPal, Disney, TSM. Got a lot. I hate trading PayPal, but I'm happy when everyone makes money on it. We crush PayPal almost. It's like Target. PayPal and Target. I don't think I've lost a trade on Target yet. If Keith is here in the chat, Keith would know. I believe we're like 8 for 8 on Target trades. PayPal, I love trading PayPal, and we usually can crush PayPal and get some decent moves on it. I get stopped out in PayPal a lot when I use hard stops. When I'm already in profit, I'll move my stop up either to entry or slightly in profit. It gets, one fat rejection off one of my target areas of resistance. It pulls back down, still higher, like stock price wise than where I entered in. But because, Theta has came in and contracts, just adjust over time, having that hard stop in when the premiums, move quickly, when, there's a little bit of volatility, will trigger the stop. And then it bounces. And then, right when it hits the stops, like Paper Gain says, every time his stop hits, the perfect time to buy. That happens to me a lot when I trade PayPal. So, all right, that's it for me. Appreciate you guys. What prop firms do you use for futures? I do not use a prop firm for futures anymore. So I did use Apex for a while. But then I recently just funded my own personal account with Webull because that's where I have my other 3 accounts. So I have 4 accounts under Webull now. They have futures over there. So I just use a real account under Webull to trade ES and MNQ sometimes. So, all right. Appreciate all 1,500 of you. Again, if you're on X, please like and retweet the stream. That way people can find it later on, since this is recorded. That way they can see the beautiful charting session and education that we did here tonight later on at their own time before next market open. Other than that, Premium Discord, I just sent that next one in there. All right, got a lot of messages to reply to tonight. So, all right, Premium Discord team, I will see you guys here on the live stream in the Discord around 9:15, 9:20 in the morning. I'll be on Wolf Financial Spaces as well, just kind of hanging out, but be live trading and live streaming in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, go to the link in my bio, click the top one, join the Discord, and come in, get you a free trial for a few days and hang out. Watch what we do. We have a fun time on the live streams while live trading every day. So, all right. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning.